Hello Muggles and welcome back to my Harry Potter kitchen, the brand new YouTube series where I am baking my way through the Harry Potter books, making a recipe for every food and drink mentioned inside. If you missed last week's recipe where we made a delicious fruitcake for Aunt Petunia, slightly more fresh than her version, which Vernon used to hammer in a nail, but if you did miss it, make sure you click the link in the description to catch up. It's another Magic Monday, so let's see what's waiting for us today. If you love all things Harry Potter and you don't want to miss a thing from my Harry Potter kitchen, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get an alert every Monday when there is a brand new video. But without further ado, let's see what's next. Okay, so Uncle Vernon has just finished nailing up the letterbox and we've moved on to Friday. Harry is still getting letters. This time he's got 12 coming from underneath the door and even in the downstairs toilet. Moving on to Saturday, he's now got 24 letters, and Dudley has quite rightly asked, who on earth wants to talk to you this badly? Who sends anyone that many letters anymore? I don't even get that many emails most days. Anyways, we're moving on to Sunday, which is a fine day Sunday, and I think I can see our next recipe. No post on Sundays. He reminded them happily as he spread his marmalade on his newspapers. We probably won't make a newspaper with this one, but let's go make some marmalade. For this recipe, you will need 350 grams of Seville oranges, 1 lemon, 825 millilitres of water, and 650 grams of preserving sugar. Now the perfect marmalade is all about the type of orange that you use. Traditionally they are made with Seville oranges, and these are a special variety that are naturally bitter, which give the marmalade its very distinctive flavour. Now you might struggle to find these depending on where you shop. I had to look in about 9 shops, but if you are in the UK, a tip is to look for a Waitrose or Sainsbury's. That's where I managed to track them down. If you can't manage to find any, then a quick tip is to replace 1 or 2 of your oranges with an extra lemon, and that way you'll make sure you get that bitter citrus flavour coming through. To begin, you want to weigh out your oranges and make sure you give them a good wash and scrub as we'll be using the peel. Place your oranges into a saucepan and then top up with your 825 millilitres of water. You want to make sure the water covers most of the oranges, and if it doesn't, try to find a smaller pan. If you're using lemons in your recipe, then you can add them in at this point too. Next, we need to head on over to the stove, so take your pan and place it on a medium heat, bringing it up to a boil. Once the mixture is boiling, you then want to turn it down to a low simmer as we don't want too much of the water to evaporate. Leave the fruits to cook for 2 hours until the skin is nice and soft and can be easily sliced. Once cooked, remove your fruits from the water and set them to the side until they're cool enough to handle. Slice your fruits in half and then scoop out all of the flesh, pips and some of the pith into a separate bowl. You'll then need to slice your orange rinds. The easiest way to do this is cut your orange into quarters, slice each of these in half and then stack them up and slice as thinly as you like. Now for this recipe I am using preserving sugar, and you might be wondering what is the difference between caster sugar, granulated sugar, jam sugars and all of the weird and wonderful types of sugars you can get in your supermarket. Well, preserving sugar typically has larger sugar crystals, and what this means is when we heat our marmalade, it's going to take a bit more time to dissolve these, so it's nice and gentle, slowly cooks, which means you're less likely to burn your marmalade, and also it will give you a much smoother taste. Add the preserving sugar into the flavoured water along with your orange rinds and give it a good stir. You'll then want to take all of your flesh, pips and pith from your oranges and place it into the middle of a muslin cloth. We don't want to throw any of this away because the pith contains a lot of pectin, and this is a natural thickening agent. Wrap the muslin cloth around the side of your saucepan and then return it to the heat. Now as we bring our marmalade up to the boil, I'm going to tell you a bit about how you can test to see if it's ready. There are loads of different tips and tricks out there that you can try, such as putting a saucer into the freezer, then taking it out and placing a bit of the marmalade onto it and seeing if it sets quickly, but you can also use a quick tip with a spoon, which is what I'm going to show you today. Bring the jam to a boil on a medium heat. Give it a good stir and then you want to leave it for around 15 minutes, letting it bubble away. If you notice any froth or scum forming while the marmalade is boiling, scoop it out and discard it. The precise amount of time your marmalade needs to cook can vary depending on the amount of water you've used, the amount of fruit you've used, and the type of sugar, so it's best to use your eye and test when it's ready. If you've gone for a caster sugar, it can be as quick as 10 minutes, and for our preserving sugars, it can be up to half an hour. Place the spoon into the freezer, and when you think it's almost done, grab your spoon and dip it quickly into your marmalade. Pull the spoon out and leave it to the side for about 10 seconds. It should have formed a skin and your trail should hold in the middle. Once it's reached this setting point, you want to remove it from the heat and pour it into a sterilised jar. The easiest way to sterilise a jar is to pour some boiling water in it, leave it for a couple of minutes, then pour it out and leave it turned upside down in a hot oven. Fill up your jars, leaving a gap of about half a centimetre from the top. Seal the lid as quickly as possible and then set them aside to cool. As the marmalade cools, it will begin to thicken to get to that nice jam-like consistency that we know and love. Once it's at room temperature, you can also pop it into the fridge to speed up the process. And we're done! Marmalade is best served with fresh toast, or in this case, lightning bolt toast, because it's my Harry Potter kitchen. Spread a generous helping of your marmalade on top and enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this super sweet marmalade recipe from my Harry Potter kitchen. If you liked it, let me know down in the comments what you thought, and of course, make sure you like the video too. That is all for this week's episode, but if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get an alert next Magic Monday when there's a brand new video.